Howdy folks, and welcome back to another episode of Tyria Talk. My name is Richie, and this show is all about the super duper MMO Guild Wars 2. Today is episode number 45, and today we're going to be talking about one-time events. That's right, we're going to dive into ArenaNet's plans for the Lost Shores update this weekend and what it means about what one-time events, my thoughts about one-time events in an MMO. Guild Wars 2 and ArenaNet, they've been doing this one-time event thing. I mean, they started in the betas. There was a finale in most of the beta weekends. In the original, in one of the events, they actually spawned a bunch of giants in Divinity's Reach that players could attack. And then it got actually more sophisticated as it went on. We had the Shatterer kind of event where he flew over and turned people into branded creatures, and you had some people that were human and some people that were shattered creatures, and they fought each other and you tried to take over the zone. And then they also had like that Hunger Games minigame for one of the other ones. So we know that they have the technology and the ability to produce content that actually produce these one-time events. And then they started talking about a one-time event for the Shadow of the Mad King. There was going to be like this finale or this one-time thing that you don't want to miss, and that was going to happen on this Sunday, during the Halloween event schedule. And it kind of brought up some controversy a little bit, where people were like, well, you said it's Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time. I'm not available then. I don't want to miss anything. Some people were starting to kind of freak out about it. And in my life, actually, because I wanted to experience it, I actually saw that there was going to be this thing, and I actually rearranged plans. My wife actually had to work on that Sunday, and she actually came home early that day from work so that she could, handle the kids while I got to see what this one-time event is. And it turned out that people didn't really need to be alarmed, right? Because the one-time event was a cutscene. It was like a 30-second cutscene showing the Mad King coming out of the fountain in Lion's Arch. And it was really, really cool to watch. But after that, there was a mini dungeon that you could fight the Mad King in, and that actually stayed open for several days for people to experience. So even if you weren't available right then to see that cutscene, you could still experience the meat of the content there. And that's really the important part. You can always watch the cutscene on YouTube. And it kind of it makes you scratch your head a little bit like, well, I mean, I think they played it really well there. I mean, people kind of freaked out a little bit, but they didn't really know what to expect, and it turned out to be totally okay. The one-time experience was something that was totally okay for everyone to catch later, kind of thing. But you almost kind of wonder, well, why didn't they play it differently? Why weren't they a little bit more transparent about it and just say, hey, it's just going to be like this little cutscene, and you can experience the meat of the content later. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they want people to get excited about it, and they're excited about showing something off, and it is going to be technically this one-time thing. But they definitely want people to kind of get excited about it. So the Halloween event aside, we're now looking at Lost Shores. Major content update for November coming out this weekend. I wrote a lot of words today covering a lot of the details about this patch and this update. So you can go, I'll put a link in the description. I put that article up on GameBreaker today, and and Guild Wars 2 put out a lot of information as well, so you can check out their site too. But there's a lot of things to talk about there, but one of the things that they are doing is they are having a 3-stage event that is taking place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's going to be basically this event where Lion's Arch is going to be invaded by this new race of aquatic shelled creatures. What are they called? They're called the Karka, I believe, and they are. Basically, I'm not going to go into all the details of it because you can read the article, but they want you to be online at Friday at noon Pacific for the start of this event. They're going to be attacking Lion's Arch. And then Saturday, noon Pacific, they're going to go into Phase 2 where you can actually unlock a new zone, a new level 80 zone where you can kind of fight the Sharka there on their home turf. The Karka on their home turf. And then Phase 3, as on Sunday at noon, they said is going to be a one-time multi-hour event where you have to fight the ancient Karka and kind of put an end to this whole kind of invasion. Now, after this one-time event is over, you will be able to still go to this new zone. There's still going to be a new dungeon in a different part of the world, and there's still going to be a new PvP map and different things that you can experience. So the content will stay. There are permanent aspects to the content, but there is this one-time event on Sunday to fight this ancient Karka boss thing. And it sounds like a little bit different than how they're handling Halloween, right? Halloween, it was a cutscene, but this sounds like if you can't log in, sometime in the, Sunday afternoon, or depending on what time zone you're in, the 12 Pacific area. If you might not have to be online right at 12, but it's going to be a multi-hour long event. But if there's no window of time on Sunday where you can log in, it sounds like you're just going to miss this event. And that's kind of a different experience than we had with the October thing. So, let me kind of dissect my feelings about this. I kind of love these one-time events, and I hate them at the same time. It's really a hard kind of emotion to encapsulate, because on the one hand, I love that an MMO is willing to do this, right? There's not a ton of this that has occurred in other MMOs. A lot of other companies, they don't take this route at all. Or they don't have the technology to do it. Like, I remember in EverQuest, you would have GM-spawned events, and they wouldn't happen across every server, right? You'd have to kind of get lucky. Sometimes you'd see one, and you'd hear complaints that people on other servers, hey, we didn't get to experience anything like that. We had no warning, blah, 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 blah. So that didn't work out so well. And a lot of other companies just don't do it. They'll put out they'll have their holiday stuff that is out for a week or so. But, it comes in one big stage, and you can, experience that all week long. So as long as you can log in sometime during the week, you can see the different things. So I do like this approach, and it kind of, if you're able to log in during that time, you kind of feel special, you kind of feel like, hey, I was a part of something that's unique. I might have gotten some rewards out of it that I can show off that is unique. Like, for example, I got the witch's hat for doing the Mad King Says on the last day of the Halloween thing, and I got the Mad Slippers from doing the Clock Tower puzzle, and I got the back piece from doing the scavenger hunt. So I've got some things to show off. Yes, I played Guild Wars 2 during the Shadow of the Mad King event, and that's kind of cool. But on the other token, I feel a little bit overscheduled at this time. Like there's all, I just got over having to be available at certain times during the week in late October, and now here we are just like the second week into November, and I'm already looking at this weekend like, all right, I have to be available at these certain times if I want to enjoy this content. And it might be a little bit different for me for a couple reasons. I mean, one, because I try to write articles and I try to do video coverage, because it's kind of my job to do so about this game. But it's also, I'm very, very busy. I have the kids, and I have the house, and I have my wife, and I have other responsibilities, so I can't always plan things around a video game. And there's going to be a time where I'm going to miss some of these events if they keep it going at this pace. And, so, it is a little worrisome, because it feels really good if you get to participate, and it kind of feels very disappointing if you don't. Now, thinking about, some ways that they can kind of or alleviate some of these things, or something, or how deep my thoughts get on this subject is, for the Mad King thing, I understand they kind of wanted to pump things up and get people excited, but it seems pretty easy to announce that, hey, we're going to have this special thing that's going to launch on Sunday. It's going to repeat, and try to check it out sometime in the next few days. And then actually spawn the cutscene when they said they would, but also give the option to show the cutscene every time you enter that Shadow of a Mad King dungeon, so people can experience it if they weren't online at that exact time. It seemed pretty easy to attach that cutscene and make it skippable if you want, but attach the cutscene so that when you go into the dungeon, you get to see it. And the reason I say that is because, yeah, it would lessen some of the hype, and it wouldn't be as special because it only ran once. But at the same token, I rearranged plans to be online at that specific time, and I really didn't need to do that. My wife came home from work early because they announced it in such a fashion, because it was like, don't want to miss it. And that's just, I don't know, it's a little bit unfair. And the same token, some people had trouble even seeing that cutscene. They were logged in at the time, and there was an issue where some people didn't even see the Mad King come out. They just heard the voice and the sound, but the video didn't actually work properly. And so they actually took the time and were actually there, and it didn't launch properly. So they had to watch it on YouTube anyway. So for that one, I would say, you know, you can tout it as this special thing that you, but make people realize that it's going to repeat, or they, you know, and then attach it to the dungeon so you can see it. For this one, for the Lost Shores, we'll have to wait and see what it is exactly. It sounds like, you know, if it turns out to be a similar thing, like the cutscene or something like that, then obviously I don't really have any issues with it whatsoever, and I think it'd be well done. If it is truly a multi-hour event, like a big boss fight, and it's truly never going to happen again, then, you know what, I'd rather them do these kind of things than not, because I think it helps Guild Wars 2 stand out. So, so even though I know that sometimes I'm not going to be available, like I still don't know if I'm going to be able to make this Sunday or not. I have to find a babysitter because my wife's actually busy that day. So, you know, there's going to be times where I'm not going to be available for it. But at the same token, I'd rather them do these things than not, because it does make the game feel special. And if you are able to attend, then it is kind of cool. Now, I did see a report. I think it was on MMORPG.com. They said something like there might be a special reward for those that are able to attend at the this one-time event. And again, it's probably going to be something cosmetic and just a token to basically say I was there for that. But, you know, that makes it hurt a little bit more if you can't actually attend it. You know, there's on one hand, you know, oh, I couldn't attend it, but, you know, I missed it, but, you know, I'll be there for the next one. Another one is like, I missed it and I don't have that special item now. Great. You know, now I really have to make sure I'm there for the next one. So we'll have to see how it goes. Now, from a business standpoint, I think this is very smart for ArenaNet to kind of do. They don't have a subscription model, so they have to make their money through the gem store, you know, their ongoing revenue through the gem store. So having these one-time events really gets people to kind of pay attention, right? You perk up and you're like, oh my God, and you start, you know, people get hype, and some of the people get amped up about it, they get excited, and some people get angry about it, but still, all of that feeds like this energy, and it's kind of like if they just were going to put out updates that just stuck around, you know, and there is a lot of content that is permanent, let's be clear on that, but if all the content was just permanent, you could be like, well, you know what, I'm excited to, you know, this new game's releasing this weekend, I'll play Guild Wars 2 in a few weeks and I'll check out that new stuff. This really gets people, no matter what game they've kind of moved on to kind of go, wait a minute, this is going to be a one-time thing and there's going to be stuff I'm never going to be able to see again. I better log in that weekend. And then they tie in, like they did with Halloween and like they have announced that they're going to do for the Lost Shores, there's some special gem store items, weapon skins and mini pets that you can only get during these events. You know, so it gets people back into the game. They have this huge spike in kind of attendance for these events. And, you know, there's new things to buy in the gem store at the same time they get this new influx. So it does make sense from a business standpoint. And by all means, you know, I want them to be successful commercially because I believe in the game and, you know, I like everything that ArenaNet's trying to do with it. So I do think these one-time events is very smart from a business standpoint to continue doing. I wonder how frequently they're going to be able to keep up the pace. We're already looking at, you know, there's question marks on December. We know there's probably going to be some sort of Winter's Day kind of event. So that would be October, November, December. They might have these kind of one-time events. Are they going to be able to continue that every month they have something, you know, trend? Or is it going to slow down after December? We'll have to wait and see. So what are your thoughts on one-time events? Leave me a question or a comment in the comments field below. And I will try to respond to as many as I feel appropriate. And you can also, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified when future videos are released. Give the video a like and a favorite and share it on different places. I would appreciate the support. And you can follow me on Twitter and contact me on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch.tv. I'll put all that information on the screen. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day.
Because I'm a Norn and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. I cut down trees. I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. I wish I'd been a girly, just like my dear papa.